go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you do it, that thing you do? Follow you blindly, I'll be your fool. Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know.
Hey everybody, hi, welcome to All About the Joy.
What's
What's
up?
going on? Hi. uh,
you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
doing good.
Question.
We already had viewers listening. That's you know what? I'm at family's home and they're all on. They were just telling me they were. I'm like, why do we already have viewers and we haven't even got on yet? You know what I mean? Did I decide not to do the chat?
That's what you said.
Should I do the chat though in case they say? Will I be able to see it even if I don't do the chat?
We have a separate chat other than what's on the screen. You can't see it. And if you want to throw each one up that you really like, you can do that too.
I don't know how to do that. Oh, look at who's in the house. Hey, Mario. You know what? It still does still makes the screen go smaller and bigger. It still does what I don't want it to do or whatever.
Hey, Melanie.
Hey, Melanie, how are you? And here's the thing: if we're not going to do the chat, then we're not. The whole point was to not talk to people.
You might as well do the chat.
So we're going to do the chat because clearly I'm going to be responding to people anyway. Hello, hi. Okay, so what's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing?
How are you doing?
That's what everybody wants
We
to
all
know.
want to know.
Well, I'm doing good. I'm for those people who don't know, I am I was in the Santa Monica area. That's where I live. We were evacuated. I was actually on the line of being ordered out. So when I say the line, I mean like the street is Montana, and I'm on that street. So it's like one side on the north is evacuated, and then it's like maybe optional. But there was so much smoke, and the anxiety I had. I just had to get out of there. So the first thing I did was it Tuesday. I feel like it's been 3 weeks, and it's not, but it feels like it's been
I bet
3
it
weeks.
feels like that. Yeah.
Um, so these are the fires that are going on. The Palisades Fire is the one that I was most affected by, and I made the decision Wednesday morning to go. I think it was Wednesday morning to go into the office, and because it was in the safer area. It was out of the disaster area. So I was like, you know what, I'll just go into work because I usually go into work anyway. So I packed up my car and decided to go into work with the plan of debating whether or not I would go back to the apartment or if I would go to a shelter. You know what I mean? Because there's a couple of shelters. There's a lot of shelters that have been set up. But I went into work, and I think I talked to one of you or told you, but on the drive there. So here's the difference: you're in your apartment, you're watching what's happening on TV, or you have your social medias or whatever, and you're sad, and you can tell when you open your door or your window that it smells, or you know that something's going on. You know what I mean? And everything's really dark, whatever. But when I got in my car and just tried to get out of my neighborhood, there were trees all over the place. There was stuff. There was like a whole fence of an apartment building that was all wood, had been trashed down because the Santa Ana winds were so bad. And the worst part was it was so dark, like a darkness that is not like it's nighttime or it's going to rain. It was like a heavy sadness, darkness. And I driving to the office was in complete like convulsion tears. You know what I mean? I was so because you could see the enormity of it as I was leaving, and the sun was red, and it's red tonight again because of all the smoke and the fires and whatever. So I went to work. Work was absolutely horrible. I don't need to explain why. Hi, Sebastian. I'm actually at Sebastian's house right now. He's downstairs in the living room. Hi. I love you, Sebastian.
Julianna's watching too.
Yeah, they're downstairs.
Julianna.
Julianna, Beata, Nathan, they're all downstairs on their phones watching or whatever. So, that's very presumptuous of me, but that's what they just said. So, but anyway, I went to work. Work was horrible. And the reason why I'll say work was horrible is because everybody was in a bad space. Our boss has a house in the same area. He was in a bad space. Everybody was so stressed. It was just a yucky time, you know. So I left there and decided to go back to my apartment because I'm on the border. So I was like, maybe I'll go back. Maybe I don't know what I was thinking. All I knew was that work was not the right place to be. Do you know what I mean? So I did my work. I drove back, and really, well, what was that noise?
I think that might have been me. I don't know what happened.
Hi, Julianna. Hi, Cynthia and Rick.
I heard you from downstairs. So I came to say hi.
Oh, now you're going to come on the show. This is my God, who I love and talk about all the time. She doesn't know that I do because she doesn't listen to the show. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just messing with you. Are you going to hang out with us?
No, I'm going back.
Okay, but I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
That's my little baby girl. She's so cute. Is your mom coming up too? Tell her to come up and say hi. Be on the show. Okay. I'm telling you, I am so blessed. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what I know. Anyway, so my one of my coworkers who I love, Dan, I won't say his last name, but I love this kid. He was like, you need to take lunch with you. So he ordered food, and he's like, we all going to go. I don't care if you leave, just take lunch and go. And I'm so glad he did because I took the lunch. I went back to my apartment, and I ate, and I swear to God, I was home 30 minutes, and I got the alert, like, you need to leave now. And I was like, oh, man. I went to the shelter first, to the Westwood Recreation Center, which has the Red Cross is there. Jose, what's his name? The World Chef's Kitchen is there, right? You know that he's amazing, Chef Andreas. You know who he is. He's always at all of the places all around the world when there's a disaster. So they're like helping with food and all this other stuff. I think they were there. There was a lot of donations, a lot of food. But when I walked in and you saw the military like cots, like hundreds of them.
Wow.
I don't know. I know what happened. It just sounds so stupid to me, but I reverted back to being a kid when I walked into a shelter, and it just hit me so hard. Like I had like a panic attack, or I just was crying, and I called Baata, and which is Julianna's mother, and I was just so upset because something hit me from my childhood that I wasn't expecting, like that whole kind of disaster feeling. And she was like, just come out here. But when we had looked earlier, it was going to be like a 2.5 hour drive. That's why I wasn't going to do it. And then there was like a little window, and there was a guy, Brian, who was volunteering there. And he's like, look, if you're going to be more comfortable, he's like, I would say go. And as he's talking to me, I see all these kids and dogs and pets and people. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm going. I'm going to take the drive. God love them all, though. All the volunteers. There are just so many people coming by and donating stuff to other people who need it. Like, I mean, at one point they said, we don't need any more food. We don't need any more clothing. They had to send them away. And, but the generosity and the kindness of people trying to help, Mm-hmm. So I made the drive out here, and I got here last night. And this is the last thing I'll say, and you can ask me whatever you want, but the relief, I cannot explain to you how stressed I did not realize I was. Mm. I was so, when I got here and could get out of my car, not smell anything, and felt like I was safe. Right. I didn't realize how I was feeling that whole time. Does that make sense? Like, it was really sad. So I slept. Bata fed me so well. Like, there was food. Nathan, who works and stuff, he's also the other teenager in the home. He brought me food from work, and everybody's been so kind. And so, yeah, today's been a blessing. So
that's awesome.
That's the gist of it. Yeah.
I think the only way to make people kind of understand what you feel like, or what everybody there feels like, is if you think about 9/11 and that sense of dread that came over everybody.
Yeah.
I think that would be the only thing that would be similar, to make people get it.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, that's probably a good way to think about it for sure. Maybe. I don't know. I've never felt this before in my life. And my issue with 9/11 is you guys know I had my friend Cesar Murillo died in 9/11. So that was a whole other ball game. But you're talking about the initial.
Yeah,
We had 4 people in that building in Cantor Fitzgerald that we went to school with. So I think there was an angst. Yeah, I guess you're right. I just didn't make that connection.
I remember going to work. I mean, I was at work and we discovered it. I was in the, like, you can go to the cafeteria and get a snack or eat breakfast real quick before you go to work. It was a nice place to
Mhm.
work. And I saw on the TV and I was like, what movie is this? Because I couldn't even believe it.
Mm,
And
yeah.
then I found out, and the whole air, you could feel it in the air, palpable. Like everybody was sad. You could hear people crying. Like this is a building with hundreds of people. And they're like, listen, if you
Mhm.
really want to, you can just go home because we know this is a hard day.
Yeah,
So,
not my certain clients, but okay, we'll just move on from that. Yeah. In all fairness, one of his homes was in the disaster area,
mm,
whatever. Um, so I think the other thing, I think you guys saw the video I made because I could not, and I still can't believe there's still so much cruelty in the world, but I want to focus on the good people, right? The joyful, amazing, beautiful people. So, but yeah,
It's so crazy how like for the past like few months, every time I hear about a fire or something, I'm always texting you like, "Is it? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And you're like, "It's like hours away. I'm okay." And then look, now this time you're like, "Oh crap."
I know, I know. I think that was probably one of the hardest parts is that all of a sudden, like I knew that we were having a fire and that it was near us. But the reason why I knew it was a bigger deal was because I was getting a ridiculous. And again, I am not complaining. I have said this. I know how wealthy I am. I get it. I have an amount of friends and family in my life that I am sorry if I ever forget that because I was reminded. And I got so many text messages and DMs, and I was like, "What is happening?" Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I guess
Yeah.
it's a much bigger deal than I even thought it was. And that's how I knew. Um, uh, Mario just said the air quality is horrible right now. We are inside with all the windows closed and towels at the bottom of our doors. Yeah, and you're further south of where my place is. So one of my neighbors is still at our apartment complex, which I find interesting. And she emailed me earlier and told me that the air quality was better than it was yesterday. She didn't say it was great. She said it was better than it was yesterday. So, but yeah, and we were wearing masks. So what?
so in your building in that area, rather, was it mandatory? Like, because I heard some places are like, oh no, this is the law. You have to leave, and if we catch
Yeah.
you, you
So we're on the line. So what they said was anyone north of Montana. I'm on Montana, right? So flip a coin. You know what I mean? But it is a warning.
mm,
But the problem is, I of course talked to a cop as I'm standing out, or whatever, and he's like, "You just go. You're on the line. Just go." And
mm,
I will say this: I'm glad I went because to me, my apartment was already smelling. You know what I mean? Like I was already like not, and I'm glad I left because it was too much angst for me. But I didn't know that till I left. You know.
mhm.
Uh, so the people one it's not even a block it's the next it's across the street had mandatory like they had to leave. There was of course I've been listening to the news things and the like chief of police or whoever was saying yes we want to say there are so many amazing heroic first responders, but the reason why there are so many heroic first responders is because people are not leaving when we
Right.
ask you to. And I'm like, child, I'm out. I don't want to cause no more problems. Mara just said they moved the line to the pier, didn't they? I don't know if they moved it to the pier. I I just knew where I was at. So I think they moved it further south and east, which is where you are, but I know for sure it was Montana and Ocean. So,
Yeah, I
I'm
saw a
giving,
picture of like the pier was covered in smoke. Like you couldn't even
oh
really
yeah,
see the pier.
yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of smoke and stuff, but the reason why they are, oh, Mario, I know what you're talking about. They actually closed off PCH. So that's all that whole area, because that's where one of my clients' homes are. That whole area you can't get into. So I think that's what you're talking about. There's a lot of smoke everywhere. So
Mhm.
smoke isn't the reason why they would be uh, telling people to leave. But the reason why they're telling people to leave is for a lot of other reasons, is because the embers are jumping. Like as the fire is crackling, it's spitting these like little fireballs, and that's why. And then the Santa Ana winds are whipping it. And there's a whole episode on 911 about the Santa Ana winds. In case did you think of that? In case you don't know what the Santa Ana motherfucking winds are, like, but it's whipping them all over the place, and so that's why it's just like random places are getting hit with fire, because if somebody doesn't get that fire out immediately, it just starts to spread.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think things seem to be better now. We've been trying to look on the news. At least for me, I feel like things might feel better because the winds died down a bit. So they were able to give a shout out to Canada, because Canada has been sending their planes of water thingamajiggies and dousing California. Yep. Mexico también. Mexico has been sending out people to help with the fires. The fire persons in Mexico have been out here. I mean, that's kind of cool, you know. And also all the firefighters. Rick, I don't know. I think you need to just watch the show to be respectful.
I know. I pray for them
to
every
get him
day.
the LAPD shirt too.
I know. Make them wear it and shit, right? I know. No. Oh, I forgot we have those T-shirts. I'm gonna have to wear that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rick.
I say that's why we pray for them every day.
Yeah,
It's a hard job.
No, it's amazing. All the volunteers too. I'm just shook. People came in. The weird thing is the people at the Westwood shelter place, recreation center place. I was talking to one of them, and some of them had come in from like Pasadena, whatever, not realizing that then they had a fire. So they had come all the way, which is far. It's not that close. Like they came all the way to Westwood to volunteer, and they're having a fire in their own area. And I was like, people are so good and selfless, you know, and kind most of the time when they're not on motherfucking social media.
Yeah. It is a good thing that, you know, when it's a real crisis, people usually tend to, you know, okay, what can we do? You know, generally. I
Yeah.
think. Like again, I'm bringing up again, 9/11, like that was a game changer.
Hi, Carol. How are you? Thank you, Carol. Carol is one of my friends from college, and she reached out to me a few times and left me some beautiful words of wisdom and joy. Thank you so much. Yeah,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I know I had before you evacuated, I know I texted you. I was like, you know, make sure you got all your important stuff. So in this case, and probably for all the listeners and stuff like that, what's in your emergency bag? What
My go
should
bag?
people have in their emergency bags?
My go bag. Well, it's so funny too, because Beata turned around and she's like, I know Carmen got everything all taken. I know the minute she knew, she was just putting everything, because I am that person, you know what I mean? But when I got here, I realized I forgot like so many regular items, you know what I mean? Like deodorant and just stupid things, you know, because I was in that panic mode. But one of the most important things I took with me is my passport, because I don't carry my passport all the time. So I found my passport, my birth certificate, my mother's death certificate. I have Julianna's baptism documents, my other godchildren's baptism documents. So I have a little tiny safe, and I just pulled that folder because those are all in that same folder. My will, which I know you have a digital copy of, but just in case I just pulled the folder. So, hi, Denise. Oh, thank you so much. One of my childhood friends. Thank you, Denise, for your kindness and support. I appreciate you so much. It meant so much to me to hear from people too. So thank you. I think everyone should look at. I know Cynthia's going to disagree with this, but I am extremely organized, almost to the point of ridiculousness. You know,
but it's a good thing in situations like this.
It's a good thing in situations like this. But I do think it was helpful, because that was the most important thing, was to make sure I had identification. And even though I had like an old copy of my insurance card in there, I do have a copy, so I know what the policy number is. You know what I mean? Like, because I have renter's insurance, whatever, the car insurance, blah, 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 all that stuff. And if you just make copies of those things and copies of your credit cards every time you get one, and you just put them in a little file, and it doesn't have to be some major thing, you know, then you could just grab that as part of your go bag. The mistake I made was not realizing that I needed more than just. I mean, I didn't. I brought sweats and t-shirts with me. You know what I mean? But I forgot. I don't know why I was obsessed with the deodorant thing, but I was like deodorant. And so I went to the grocery store today. I walked over to the grocery store and got like some soap and stuff. But yeah, I think. I mean, was there something else you would put in your go bag?
No, I mean,
Yeah, I think if you bring a towel, like so, in a situation like this, a real go bag for me is a change of clothes. You know what I mean, like all your toiletries or whatever. But most importantly, your documents that are important to you. I know other people were taking their pictures with them and whatever. And I was talking to my neighbor across the way when we first started thinking about leaving, and I said, I guess I should take all the pictures I haven't, put in a scan. He's like, leave them. And he was right, because I have like these 3 bins from like when I danced back in the day or whatever, and like it was this weird thing where I was like, I'm not gonna haul them out to my car. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, just leave them. He's like, he goes, they should have been scanned in already. He's like, and if they're not that important to you. I was like, oh, but he wasn't wrong.
true. Yeah.
Well, now you got motivation to get it done.
Exactly. But I mean, he was like, and what he was saying was, you don't want to end up leaving your car somewhere, like, God forbid, like, because it could happen. You already saw the pictures. People were told to leave their cars because there was fire coming that had been spit, and it just was coming, and they were going to die if they did not do this. And they left their cars, and then when the fire trucks had to go up, they had to have a bulldozer come over and move all the cars. And part of that is because lots of people didn't leave their keys in their cars, because nobody would ever do that. But more importantly, they didn't have the time to move and park. It's not that kind of area. You know what I mean? Like, let's move all the cars. So, you have to think smart and quick. So I had a duffel bag, not a duffel bag, my little travel bag, my briefcase, and my rollaway, knowing that I could leave my rollaway in like your, what do you call it when you carry on? Knowing I would leave that if God forbid anything happened. I would just take the little briefcase I have, which is like a backpack, but briefcase and the little travel bag I have. I would have just taken that because that's where the papers were. So yeah. What was it like? Can I ask you guys some questions?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like from you watching it? Like, what did you think was happening, and when did you hear about it?
I heard about it actually right when you posted. I was about to call you, and I'm watching the news, but you had posted right at the same time. I was about to pick up the phone. I was like, okay, so she knows about the fire. It is in her area now. So I was like, okay, I know she knows what to do. So I was worried, but not worried, because I know that you are prepared.
Well,
but it was scary.
yeah.
I remember I saw the video rather of you showing the smoke first. And
outside. That's outside my apartment complex. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize like fire was going to be an issue at that point, but it made me say like, pay attention. So I usually don't pay attention to news or anything like that. And then I went on Twitter/X, and I was just horrified at the videos and the pictures, but also people like, trying to help and do things. And one guy literally in his house, and he's like, what are you doing there? Fire's literally right outside his windows, and why are you there still? What are you doing? Like,
Saw
that was
that.
crazy. Hey, Ash Balls.
Hey, Ash. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your comments and everything. I was really grateful. I think I was telling Billy earlier today, I learned a very valuable lesson. And this is not me complaining at all. I was grateful to get all the messages or whatever. But what was really weird, Cynthia, maybe I was telling you, I don't know who I was telling, but it's so funny because people care. And so they're reaching out to you, but I can't respond that fast because we're actually trying to figure out what to do. But a few people were like, are you okay? You're not answering. I'm like, okay. I'm okay. It's like so funny. That's why I was like, I just got to put the videos up, because I realized when you feel like someone you care about is in danger and you're states away or whatever, and you don't know what to, like, I know I have felt like that from my friends too. Like, oh my God, how can I help? Like, what? there's something wrong, and you feel like you can't do anything. But it's all lovely, and I appreciate it. But I did learn a valuable lesson, like go to their Facebook or TikToks or Twitters or whatever and see if they've posted anything first. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's a kindness that is unbelievable. Like you just feel loved, you know. Thank you, Ash. Yeah, please. I'm not complaining. I'm saying I learned something valuable because I used to be one of those people. Are you okay? Why didn't you? Why haven't you texted me yet? You know what I mean? Because I think I'm the only person that they're trying to talk to, but actually they're probably trying to just get everything together. You know, so I know that's what I've done. So, yeah.
Get in line with the other 200 people asking me the question.
But you know, I didn't even see it that way. It was just like I mean, not getting. I wouldn't ever be that disrespectful.
I'm just joking.
I know I would never be that disrespectful, but it was just. I'm just saying I learned a valuable lesson. That's all I'm saying. Like, as nicely and well meaning as it is, it can be overwhelming. And look at like that's such a fucking thing to be complaining about. You are loved and cared for. You know what I mean? Like, please.
Being overwhelmed is a good problem in this case.
That's right. In this case, that's right. Amen. That's what I'm saying. That's right.
It's
That's
like that time, remember when I was in the hospital, and you're like, what's going on? You know, text me back, and I was like, all right, my daughter's going to text you. She's going to text everybody. She'll keep you updated.
Well, and again, and that's a great example because what happens is I heard that you were taken by ambulance, and I'm
Right.
in what? You know what I mean? And I'm like, because somebody would have told me. You know what I mean? You're like, I think you text me. I was taken by ambulance, and then that was it. Wait, half the store? What? But I didn't know she was doing that. Like, wow, she was in the ambulance. So, like, that was. But yeah, I've learned a valuable lesson. I also think it's important to have people's phone numbers either memorized or, you know, I was talking to Baata, and like I have. Because I wear an emergency, that's not what it's called. I wear a medical
alert.
bracelet. Yeah, medical alert because I am severely allergic to penicillin and shellfish. And I carry an EpiPen, but I have on my medical bracelet phone numbers to people on the East Coast and people on the West Coast. And here it's Baata, and then on the East Coast it's Mia. And I have their phone numbers here. So it's really good because if you lose your phone, if it falls, if you know what I mean, if you have an issue, whatever, I can borrow somebody else's phone to call. Or what if you have to jump out of your car fast or whatever? We don't memorize numbers anymore.
We don't.
Yeah.
So I think that was another thing that I was kind of grateful for because I had a few phone numbers that God forbid anything happened. Or you lose, a lot of people were losing reception because the towers were going down. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Like it was hard for sometimes people have reception. So that's the other part of it too, just to make sure you can figure things out and have everything you need. But an emergency is an emergency. You're not always going to be prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the bracelets are a great idea though. Like, God forbid you pass out, hit your head, and go in a coma. You can't communicate. How are they going to know who to call? You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to be funny.
That's so disaster thinking. Like,
I went to the extreme.
We're gonna have like all about this.
We got a phone number.
I know it's stupid. I'm laughing because like now we're gonna be selling on All About the Joy medical bracelets. Everyone should have one. Like now.
With coupon code All About the Joy.
No. No, I mean, I hear you. I don't, you know, I only wear this because I do have an allergy. And when I have the allergy, it isn't that I just get hives. My throat constricts and I cannot speak. So that's why. But I think I also don't want to live in that negativity. I mean, I know what you're saying, but I don't want everyone wearing medical bracelets just in case. You know what I mean? Just in case you fall into, what did you say? Fall into a coma.
Hit your head and get in a coma.
That's going to be the line. Fall on your head and get into a coma. You see what I'm saying, though, right?
It's going to be a new commercial rather than that. I've fallen and I can't get up. It's going to go into a coma.
Buy your AATJ medical bracelet at allaboutthejoy.com. Okay, I'm sorry. We're laughing too hard because I'm really tired, but okay, go on.
We need it, though. We need it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
Rick,
definitely
how did it seem
appreciated
like
the.
to you? Oh, I'm sorry. I
I
was
was gonna
just
say I
gonna.
definitely appreciated the video updates because
Mhm.
yeah, I'm like everybody else. I want to be like, what's going on? Are you okay? Da, da, da?" But I'm like at the same time, I'm like, but she's probably getting a lot of that, so I don't want to bother her. So seeing the
I know.
videos, like, okay,
I
relax,
know,
she's
but you
okay.
sent me another DM today. You, Billy, and Alden, all three of you. Well, Alden actually called me today, so that was different because I hadn't heard his voice. But it was funny because, and I think I responded to him like, Rick, did something else happen? I was like, what? I sent you a thing last night because you sent me this morning. Are you all right? And I'm like, what happened? But again, look it, that is the abundance of wealth that I got. And I am just
Oh no.
grateful. Thank you so much. I do. I'm not look at like no one is ever going to reach out to me ever again. Like, and I'm gonna be like, "Ugh." That's not what I mean. I'm just saying, like, now being on this side of it, I understand it. Like Cynthia, what I did to you was wrong, and now I get it. You know what I mean? Not wrong, but I could have called Juan. I could have texted Juan. I didn't have Sadita's phone number at the time, but I could have reached out to Juan and found out, or any of your sisters. I could have reached out to one of them, instead of texting you 15 times until I heard from you. So I apologize. A little late, but I apologize. So, but Rick, how was it in Connecticut hearing what was going on out here?
Yeah, like I said, I was
Oh,
just seeing the videos and the pictures, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then the man part of me goes, okay, how can we fix this so this doesn't happen again? I was like, the ocean's right there. But then people are like, no, 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 you can't do that because, well, I found out two things. Yesterday, I found out the salt in the water will destroy the earth, so you can't grow anything on it anymore. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of bad. And then Fireman Rich, remember him? He actually came on my
mhm.
broadcast today. He goes, that's not the only thing. He goes, the salt will get into all the piping and everything and destroy it and corrode it. So you
Mhm.
really can't do that. It's not an answer. And I'm like, oh. And I said, what about if they like filter it somehow? He goes,
But those planes are going into the ocean and grabbing water.
hmm.
You have seen them, like you see
Yeah,
them
yeah.
go. They go into the ocean. So I don't know if they're filtering it or what, but
Mhm.
Is it
fire.
the ocean or are they going into like lakes and getting it where it's fresh water
I
and
have.
not
You know
saltwater?
what? You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying water pipes. I'm just saying we can
You
fix
know,
the pipes. Water, fire. I don't know, but that's a great.
Fire
I mean,
versus garden.
what?
Fire destroying all my stuff versus wanting a garden.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my stuff.
I mean, I've seen the planes going. When I was driving up here, I told Ba'at, I'm like, it was so cool to see one of those planes hovering. Like when we were going over I was on the freeway coming here, and they were going, and it was one of those planes that was dumping water. It's amazing. Um, I thought they were
parents
going into
said
the ocean.
that they go into the river.
Oh, they go into the river. Okay,
Oh, up there
I
they do.
believe it. Yeah, it's so amazing. Hey, Denise, thank you. Glad to hear you laughing. Ooh, I was laughing yesterday too. They were so funny here. They were cracking me up. Which is again, it was that spirit, right? Like you need to be around good people. I think that's the most important with your go bag.
Yeah.
Have good people in your life. Be a good person so that people want to help you for real.
Yeah.
And you don't need to have a lot of people. You just need to have one friend.
Hmm.
8 minutes. Someone said that when somebody is in grief or in sadness, all they need is an 8 minute conversation with somebody. 8 minutes
Hmm.
conversation with somebody to feel better. That's not a lot. It's all you
Hmm.
need. Ash just said the news was terrifying. Well-known California streets with flames all around. Melanie said, which is worse, the fire burning or worrying about what the salt water does? Exactly. Yeah. You know what though? I totally get it. Like, and I have no reference, so I believe exactly what's going on. I'm gonna research it later though, right? And send you a link to what I found out because that's how I use. But it's an interesting thought. But Fireman Rich actually is a fireman, so I'm not questioning him.
Yeah.
Um,
One
but
thing that.
we were in flames. They're still in flames, but we were in flames everywhere. So I don't. Here's what I'm saying: killing people because we're worried about pipes. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you, Rick and Cynthia, for reaching out to us. It felt amazing to us. Oh, I didn't even reach out to Mario. I'm sorry. Mario, I didn't reach out to you.
Feels the love. You were worried about getting out.
Yeah. You're in the same boat.
I didn't know how far he was from you, so that's
He
why I
reached
sent the
out to
message.
me. He reached out to me. He's on the other side of me. So if the Palisades is over, so if I'm Santa Monica and the Palisades are the next town over to me, then he's the next town over to me. He's in Venice, Mar Vista area. So he's on this side of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's right there. It's not, it's not like it's huge. It's just these little towns. You know what I mean? So yeah.
There was one particular story. Was it actor James? Is it James Wood? Is that his name? I forget now. He's an actor, and he was saying that his neighbor, 94 years old, and has dementia. So as soon as I heard dementia, I was like, well, I gotta hear this. My mom has dementia. And so they went in the house and they were calling for him. And he said, oh, I think he's in the hospital. But then he called his son. He says, is your dad still in the hospital? He goes, no, they sent him home already. He goes, I'm calling for him. I don't see him. And the son said, he just got a new CNA, nurse person, whatever. But she's so new, I didn't get her number yet. So they're like, all right, he's not in the hospital. I can't find him. We're calling for him. And then I don't know if there was a son or somebody else said, there's a particular room he likes to sit in because there's a window and he likes to look out at the garden. And he was just sitting in the room. Like he could have burnt down, like he was just
Where was
there.
he? Where was he though?
He was in this little room looking out the window.
But they found him.
Oh yeah, they got him.
Thank God. Okay, my God, we need a happy ending there. Okay. Yeah, there are a few people. I think we were watching earlier today. Somebody was, died because they were using a hose to try to save their house. I'm like, come on now. I don't know. I'm sad, but he'd been living there, 40 years or something, and he was like 85 years old, and it's a sad story. And I'm like, I'm frustrated because he'd be here today, and I don't know if, maybe I just don't care about my apartment that much, or I don't know. Maybe I don't have that much time. I don't know.
You have to realize no thing is more valuable than a life. No thing.
I was trying to think how far I would go to save my stuff in my apartment. The thing I thought about saving more than the pictures were my shoes, and I clearly could not, because I got my shoes, right?
I know.
And I just got my new sneakers. I didn't bring those. I didn't even wear those. I was so mad at myself. I could have worn those. You know what I mean? But they would have gotten dirty and stuff. That's why I didn't. So I left them. My point is, that's ridiculous thinking. Who cares?
Not my Jimmy Choos. Not my Jimmy Choos.
I know. You know what? And I got the classic Jimmy Choos that they don't even make no more. You know what I'm saying? So I have to. The shame. I'm telling you, the shame. I was like, I should bring my shoes because I was like, then I could sell them. I'm like, I'm never going to sell them. Like, I had a whole conversation in my head about it. Fucking crazy woman over here. You know what I mean? Asher said, oh no, things don't matter. It sucks, but can be replaced. No, for sure. I'm just saying my Jimmy Choo, the classic boots, the stilettos, those cannot be replaced. But they are not that important. By the way, I don't wear heels anymore. Like, that's the worst part of this. Like, but those are $1,200 boots, man.
You're saving them for Julianna.
No, I'm not. No. I think they're one of those things that they're classic, but they're out of style. But it's going to come back someday. You know what I mean?
And they're vintage. You can
say. Vintage. Yeah, okay, vintage. Yeah. But I was more concerned with all my sneakers, like because now I have all these cool. It's just stupid. Or all my flat shoes. It's ridiculous. Oh, okay, but Mario, I think it's great if there are helicopters over you. That means that they're fighting something, because if the Santa Ana wins and the smoke is so bad, they can't fly. That's the other reason they can't fly and try to douse the water. So
that's a good thing to hear, though.
I think it's a good thing. I would be glad, because that was part of the eeriness of it. You would just be hearing the howling of the wind. And you knew it was just whipping around fire. You could just tell. Hey, Brian.
Oh, what happened? We lost Rick.
I have like Brian came on, and I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Brian, turn off my VPN. I forgot to turn off the VPN.
That's okay. And Ash just said, "I'm a shoe girl." Sorry. Yeah. Oh no, if I had those, I'd be mad. I left them. You know what? It's. I mean, it is things. As much as people call me bougie. When I say people, I mean Brian and Tony. But I'm high maintenance in a lot of other ways, but not when it really comes to stuff. I don't think I'm saying one lie. Cynthia, if you think you can either vouch or disagree, but
I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah, stuff.
I
I
think
mean, I like stuff, but
you're a
go
bit
ahead.
you're a bit of a minimalist, I think, too, right? You don't like a lot of stuff. You know.
Mm, yeah, I mean,
Just know
what?
just know that green chair. I would love that green chair if you ever want to get rid of it.
You can have
No.
it. Yeah, if something happens to me, you can have the green chair. Yeah. Um,
We
everyone
have
loves.
video evidence of this conversation right now.
Yeah,
So.
you can have that. I can buy you one tomorrow. It wasn't really that expensive. Like that's kind of the cheat because I think I got that at Wayfair.
Mm.
And I'm not trying to be mean, but that's not like a $2,000 chair. The green chair, everybody It's so weird, right? I have a little love seat that cost me like $2,000 from I don't know if it was Pier 1 or Crate and Barrel. It's a $2,000 love seat. Okay,
Your
nobody
black
cares.
couch?
Yeah, that's from Crate and Barrel. I know. Look at you, like that's my point. Okay, like, what? It's a $2,000 love seat. Yes, it's not a couch. It's just a love seat. But even that, like, I don't have like a full length couch because my apartment's too small. I think for a big couch, so I don't have that. I like more space. I guess I don't have anything in my apartment. I don't know.
You really don't. You're very minimal stuff in your house.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Wayfair chair that's in the green, it's the green that everyone sees in the background. It's part of my little office. I think it was like $200 from Wayfair. I'm not kidding. Like everybody's like, I love that. Where'd you get that chair? I'm like, girl, I don't even remember. I think it was like an antique shop or something. I had them ship it in. Oh, I lie all the time about it to people. To people who are snooty, I mean. No need to tell people the truth, but y'all hear it was from Wayfair.
That's funny.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's a 2K ripoff.
It's a good couch. I mean, it's a good love seat. Yeah. Oh no, I'm too cheap to spend $2K. So here's how I work. It's just like fashion. It's like you cut up pieces. So you have like I'll wear very expensive, really amazing shoes, but then I'll be wearing Gap t-shirts, right? All my t-shirts that I like Gap. I'm not spending $400 on a t-shirt. I don't care how fabulous they fit. I've had $400 t-shirts and I wasn't impressed. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't. And you can spend what $100 on a pair of decent jeans or something, or $50. But if you have great quality shoes, that's what people notice. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then the rest
just make everything else look expensive.
That's what I'm saying. So I have this really beautiful, and also I believe in quality. So the couch I have, I've also had it for probably, I don't know,
a long time,
like 15, 16 years. Like it's a really good quality, and it looks new. It looks the same. It's not, you know what I mean, damaged or anything. And then you put a cheap furniture piece, you know what I mean? That is a little exotic, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I love that! Can I have it in my will?" Yes, you can, Cynthia. It's yours. You know what I mean? Like, Julianna's not gonna fight with you for it. You can have it. Yeah, sorry, I could have lied and said, "Oh, that's a $3,000 piece." I could have, because that's usually what I say. But I'll think about it, and give it to you. But Wayfair. I'll send you all the catalog link. I swear to God. But it's they might not make it anymore because again, it's another one of those things that is 15, 16 years old.
It's like shoes too. They last longer than a t-shirt, So it makes sense you're spending more money.
Well, I think the people that don't understand about shoes, and I used to say this about high heels, even though high heels are not a thing anymore, but if you can't run in a pair of high heels, you should not be wearing them. And you see people wearing high heels and they can barely walk in them. Like, no. By the way, when I say running, high heels are not really for running or anything. Like you should be going out of your car to the dinner table. You know what I mean? You should be sitting with maybe walking to a meeting from one office across to the other. Like high heels are a thing, you know what I mean? But you shouldn't be. But people can't walk in them, but they like them so much. You know? I don't know why my light keeps going in and out, but we're gonna have to deal with it.
It
Uh,
didn't.
Brian just said it's going to cost me $250 to build my own desk. Knock it out, baby. I ain't building shit. I don't even build stuff from IKEA. If I buy something from IKEA, I have somebody else build it. Like, I am not sitting there with 35 screws for a board cabinet thing. Yeah. And I know architects who are big time designers and they will use as set pieces things from IKEA because it's so perfectly done with what they're doing. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like they will integrate that into the $1 million coffee table or whatever. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean? Like they'll integrate. And I have IKEA at my house too, but I did not build it.
Hmm.
I don't think the wood. I don't think the construction of stuff costs money. I think it's the labor, right?
Yeah.
It's always the
Can be.
labor.
Forever to put them together.
It can be.
I hate IKEA. I mean, I love IKEA, but I hate putting it together. Never again. I did it like 3 times. I'm never doing it again.
And it doesn't. The stuff doesn't last long.
It's not supposed to. Stuff from IKEA or Staples or, you know what I mean? Not supposed to last long, you know. But a couch from Crate and Barrel might. You know what I mean? Like it just depends. I think you treat things differently too if you believe they are quality. I'm not saying that they spend more money. I'm saying if you think something is a piece of quality, you treat it differently too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of furniture, so this is going to start off sounding sad, but then it's going to get good at the end. Oh, Melanie said the only heels I ever wore were kitten heels. I could never stand in stilettos. Oh, okay. I
You
can't
could
relate.
stand in my Jimmy Choos, girl. Let me tell you. Because when you put them on and it's fitted to your calf, right? Like you get them perfectly. You be working them kitten heels, but you be working this too. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, work.
Sorry. Astra said I've never gotten to go to IKEA. The closest is 3 hours away. Oh, we just order it. IKEA has a store, that warehouse. Oh no, not my place. You never want to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Brian said $150 for a 5-foot butcher block for the top stainless steel. What is he talking about? Oh, what he's making?
Talking about the table he's making.
Oh, it sounds awesome.
Very
but
cool.
I thought he said it was going to be $250. Oh, so he's the labor, $100.
He said the top is $150.
Oh, right. So that'll be a good quality thing. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Tell me your. Go ahead. Tell us your story, Rick. I'm glad you didn't say it's going to be funny because you know I was going to rag on you. So go ahead.
No. It's gonna be so funny. No. My birthday was the 2nd, and I didn't get a lot of fanfare. There was no cake, no candles, no, because mom's got dementia. We don't go to the store. I'm not buying my own cake, whatever. So I was a little slightly down a teeny little bit, but I'm like, you're 55, dude. You ain't a kid. Calm down, relax. You know, you're not a child. Relax. You're being a little immature. That's what I said to myself to make myself feel better. And then somebody that I know online, we used to do Periscope a lot together. Not together, but we did Periscope a lot. And she's somebody I talk to every so often. Doesn't even really come on my broadcast that much. She goes, "Hey, do you have an Amazon wish list?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll send you the list." Thinking, she'll get a book or something, because I have like a few books on there. I opened the door 2 days later. There's this one huge box and this other smaller box, and I was like, one of the things I was like, oh, please, I need sneakers. Please get the sneakers. Please get the sneakers. So that was one of the things. And then the other thing was something I never thought anybody would get. But for me and in my situation, would be so convenient is little folding tables, little small ones so you could like put in front of you. And I could use that like with my mom or when people come over and stuff like
tray
that.
tables.
Yeah. I was like, and she got a set of 4 of those for me. I was like, ain't nobody gonna buy me that. And that was the big box. I was like, oh my gosh. So it made me feel like, yay.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. And that was a pretty big surprise. Um, Carol just said, I love going to IKEA. The cafeteria is the best Swedish meatballs. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I trust you. I
They
don't.
are good.
Yeah, they say
Oh,
the food is
really?
good. They say the
Carol
food's
says,
good.
happy birthday, Rick.
Thank you.
Ash
Thank
says,
you.
steel legs. Nah, that's a lightning magnet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not too thinking about lightning coming inside the house that much, but okay.
Um, that is really sweet. That is a sweet thing. I didn't know you had an Amazon wish list. Am I supposed to go look on there and buy you something now?
No.
I'm just saying, is it under Rick Costa under Amazon? Like,
I'm liking Brian's new comment there. Making me
Right.
hungry.
Rick, you
Brian, you
deserve
going
what is it? 2-inch American Wagyu tomahawk ribeye, medium rare with scalloped potatoes with a smoky old fashioned drink.
Mm.
Are you gonna make that for him? I'm confused. Are you want his
Right.
address? Because you could
overnighting it?
send that as a nice overnight meal prep type of thing. You know what I mean?
Funny.
No. Well, happy belated birthday. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And
And speaking of birthdays,
yeah, no, we're not talking about. All I want is for the firemen to find a way. I want rain.
you want a
Lord,
fireman? You want a
Lord.
fireman? Okay.
No,
You
I don't
want
want
the
a
fireman?
fireman. I don't. I want the firemen to be taken care of. All I want is rain. I was like,
Mm.
Lord, you want to prove yourself to me? It's the conversation me and God were having earlier today. Like, I need some rain. We just need rain in California right now. A nice big dose of it. Cut this shit out. Enough already. But yeah, my birthday's on Sunday and I have no plans and I don't even know if I'll be home. I probably will be. I think I'm going to go back tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I'm probably going to go back home tomorrow if things have really died down. I wish they would just lift the mandate, the order, so I don't feel like I'm doing something illegal. Because that's how I am. I feel like I'm doing something illegal, but I am on the line. I could go back. But my fear is that if they don't and I go back, then they're going to be like, out. You know what I mean? Like, get out. Anyway,
30 minutes later, you gotta go. I just
yeah,
got here.
I just got here. So that's what happened when I came back from work and ate my food. It was, anyways, we'll see. But that's all I want for my birthday. Nothing else. Brian, I'll cook up a grilled catfish and fries for Carmen. Oh,
Brian trying to kill you?
so sweet. Yeah, I'm too exhausted to bother. Like, I have an EpiPen.
It's shelled stuff that you're allergic to, right? Not fish.
I don't eat any fish.
But you're not
I
allergic
never.
to fish.
So the
You
reason why I
just,
don't eat. I'm sorry.
you just don't want to find out.
I already did. That's why. Because I think so. The problem is when you eat any seafood, you run the risk of them using the same sinks
Okay.
and cutting boards. And that's actually it's catfish, which was the problem. I went the last time I had a really bad attack. Well, the second to last time I had a really bad attack was years ago. We were in San Diego and we were all hanging out, a bunch of friends. We went to a restaurant and they all had seafood. One of my friends had catfish, whatever. I had chicken cordon bleu with rice. I'll never forget it, on purpose. And when we left the restaurant, we went to a club, we went dancing, whatever. When we started walking back to the hotel at like 1 a.m, all my friends were like, why are you bleeding? I was bleeding on my neck, on my arms. Now, when you have an attack, you don't bleed, but I had been scratching all night and I didn't know that I had been scratching. And we walked up to the hotel, and the minute the cold air hit, that's when they could see the blood or whatever. You know what I mean? It just, and I ended up I was having a panic attack. The ambulance was called. And I remember, this is like one of the funniest things, because when I see it on shows like 911 or whatever, I remember the woman on top of me, like I was on the stretcher and she was on top of me, and she's like, you have to stop hyperventilating. And I was like, that's something you don't tell somebody. I'm like, exactly. And it was like, and I remember Richard was pissed. Like, Richard was so mad. No, Ryan, I know you didn't know. There's no way you would know. But it's your throat constricts. And that's what was happening. And once you have the feeling, and I hope no one ever feels this, once you understand what it feels like to have your throat constrict, that you can't breathe, that's something I never want to feel again. And so, yeah, that's why I don't eat any seafood. I don't go to sushi restaurants. I don't And I've been to like we've had meetings at sushi restaurants, and I'm like, they're like, "Would you like some rice?" No. Oh, the reason why I got the attack was they used the same spoon for like the shrimp and the oysters to spoon out my rice.
Mm.
Mm.
So it's
Oh,
cross contamination. You know what I
I
mean?
was
So
gonna say that. Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, I have an allergy to penicillin too. Those are the two that are on my bracelet, on our new medical bracelets.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
Make
kidding.
sure you use code all about the joint.
Right. For me though, penicillin really is more the hives. I've never actually gotten to the point where I've had my throat constrict, but because of that overreaction with
Mm.
shellfish, it's a medical no. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are allergic to a lot of things, but they don't have their throat constrict. You have hives or rashes or something, you know.
Yeah.
That's not to diminish that, by the way. That sucks too. That's not
Yeah.
my point. My God.
I'm allergic to shrimp.
Yeah, I know you talked about that. Why only shrimp though?
I
What
don't
is
know.
it about shrimp?
I've eaten crab. I've eaten lobster, which I don't care for, but shrimp specifically. Ooh, don't ask the symptoms. Don't ask.
Does shrimp taste differently than the other things? I mean, I wouldn't know because I've never had it. I've never
Yeah,
had any of these things.
I think so.
They just taste a little different. My daughter's the same way. She can have lobster and everything else, but she's allergic to shrimp. Her lips will swell up.
I wonder what it, right? That's fascinating. Like, I wonder what it is about the shrimp specifically, you
Mm.
Yeah.
know? Yeah, allergies suck. But
Hmm.
yeah, look at Cynthia's like, I know. But Cynthia, you have the worst kind of allergies, which is like the regular, all the time dealing with the changing weather, stupid shit. Yeah, no, that see, I just
Yeah.
have to avoid something. You can't avoid living. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I have to live in a
Can you just not?
bubble,
Yeah.
basically.
Just don't be in the air at all. Don't be in
Yeah,
the.
Right. Yeah.
right. Remember that
And then
movie Boy in the Bubble? It was with John
Yeah.
Travolta.
yeah,
When you just said that,
yeah. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, and it's horrible because when it flares, my asthma flares, I feel just like you did. Like your throat just kind of constricts, your chest. You feel like somebody's
yeah,
sitting on it or like squeezing your lungs. It's a
mm,
horrible
It's horrible.
feeling. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
And
don't
that's why
know. It's a weird thing.
I
Go
don't know
ahead.
how to swim. I can doggy paddle, and the reason I
Mm.
can doggy paddle but I never really know how to swim is because I refuse to put my head in the water because I'm like, you can't breathe under the water. I'm not doing that, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you
stay
have a weird thing with water. We had this. I remember that from back in the day. Isn't that a
No,
weird thing
Brian
that
has
you
no
don't
food
like?
allergy.
What?
No, Brian was asking if I had food allergies. No food allergies.
She has no food allergy, but she's allergic to the foliage. You
Yeah.
do. You're allergic to the foliage.
Oh, I
Um,
remembered another one I have. Saffron. It's
Oh.
like a spice, saffron. My dad used to have it in the garden, and he went to Canada with my mom once and said, "You got to take care of the garden while we're up there." And he goes, "You got to pick the saffron when it looks like it's ready." Da, da, da. I'm like, I hated it, and my fingers got so swollen. It was so bad, and I worked at McDonald's, and just trying to push the buttons, it was so hard and painful. I
oh
was
wait,
like,
so you still went to work?
"Oh yeah, yeah." So yeah, it was bad. I was like, even driving, holding the steering wheel was hard because my
Well, you know
fingers.
you could take something like Benadryl, over the counter Benadryl, that will help, right?
Yeah,
You know you
I was,
can.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know.
They don't know why allergies happen. It's interesting. They don't know why some people become resistant to certain things. It's fascinating because a lot of kids when they're little have like peanut allergies or whatever,
Yeah.
all the other gluten. I'm not making fun of anything. It's just there's so many things that people can be allergic to, and I wonder if it's as we become more technically advanced, our bodies can only tolerate so much. Like,
Mhm.
why
It's like
am I allergic to seafood? I grew up in a seafood town. I mean,
right.
Boston is a seafood. Why would I be allergic to it? It doesn't
Mm.
make any sense.
It's just like Gray. Gray, when he was born, they said he was allergic to nuts and to coconut and eggs. So it was so hard trying to, yeah, I know, it was so hard trying to figure out what to give him. But now he's 7. He's grown out of it. Like he
Oh,
eats
he's grown
everything.
out of it.
Yeah. So
Well, that's
now
So
he
do
awesome.
eats
most
everything.
kids do it? Do most kids? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no. So now I think the only thing like he can't eat are like some tree nuts, but it's not like a severe allergy. Like
All right.
so good. He eats everything.
Do most kids grow out of it? Like Ash just said, I was born lactose intolerant and grew out of it weirdly. So is that a normal thing? I don't have kids, so
It
I don't
can
know.
happen. It can
Wow.
happen. Even
I'm
as
the
you
opposite.
get older, you can actually start having allergies. Like you can have none, and then as you get older, you can actually start producing allergies. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never lactose intolerant, but then 30 something years old, all of a sudden eating ice
Yeah.
cream, like, whoa, why am I getting, I got a bathroom again. It was bad. Pizza, anything that's milk products in it bothered me. Still does.
Wow.
Interesting. Thank you, Rick. Hour mark. Hi, Linda. Hi, Carmen. I wasn't around early. I'm just glad that you're safe and sound. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you're okay too. Thank you. Brian said, my Asian side dominates my white side. I'm blessed when it comes to not having allergies.
Mm.
I don't know if race has anything to do with it, does it? I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea if race has. I don't know enough. I just know about my. I'm just confused. I always thought about that. Like, and they knew when I was a baby that I had this allergy, and then people would try to say it's not. It's not lobster. It's chicken. They would. And when I say people, Cynthia, you know who I'm talking about. And I'd be right back at the hospital. Ash said when I was in high levels of. I don't know what that is. It caused.
Prednisone.
I can't say it. Okay, you guys said it. It caused my to get hives from dust.
Oh,
What is
Oh,
prednisone? I can't say it.
prednisone is a steroid. So, like
Oh,
with
that's the
the
steroid I
asthma.
get? Is that the steroid I get? Is that in my EpiPen? Like when I go to the hospital, they give me doses of
No.
Benadryl and a steroid. That's what they
Oh,
give you.
maybe.
I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm like, all I know is I feel better. And my skin always looks good. I mean, not that I want to have an allergic reaction, but like one of the benefits of getting the steroid and the Benadryl is like you get that really nice skin. Because my skin's usually so horrible anyways, but
Yeah, most likely is the prednisone.
prednisone. I think
silver lining of allergies. Nice skin.
right. So when you get that medical bracelet, just know. Okay. Oh, typo. Sorry. Oh, no problem. No problem. Um, but yeah. So anything else, guys? We are at the hour mark, and
Just glad you're safe.
Yeah.
I am. I'm safe, but there are a lot of people still in harm's way, and so I want to just pray for them. I also people saw the video I made when I was at work. I really want to pray for people to stop being so nasty. And it's not that I want to keep talking about it, but I feel like I think it's part of what I do want to talk about is just do better, people. Like, I think it really is kind of showing who you are when you choose to take a moment and just be so cruel.
Mhm.
So I think I was really angry and sad about it, and then I just realized it's because I just believe in the best in people, or I want to. But my God, people were so cruel about that. Did you guys see some of that as well?
No, I didn't.
I didn't really see that much of it, but I did address it on my last two broadcasts.
Oh, you did? What did you say? I wasn't able to watch. I'm sorry.
Well, like you just said, we got to do better. So I'm talking to you Christians who talk about, the God of love. Well, where's your showing of love when you're talking about, oh, this is God's judgment? Like they don't. That first of all, even if that was true, which I absolutely do not believe that's true, absolutely not. Even if that was true,
Yeah.
that's not helping them. That's not what they need to hear right now. They need comforting words, not you're evil, and that's why this is happening. What? What's wrong with you?
I don't believe in that kind of God. I don't know why. Oh, Brian, I did a video because I was just upset, but I was upset because I kept hearing watching comments of people, and of course, whenever I go look at their profiles, it's the Christian people, but they were saying things like, this is what California deserves. This is all the Hollywood elites. They're all this, that, and the other. You can imagine all these horrible comments. This is in right at the beginning of this whole thing, and the cruelty in it. And my whole thing is, I don't know what kind of God people believe in if they believe that's how God would do it. I don't know why God would waste his preciousness in like I'm going to hurt the people of California. Oh, and not just the evil people of California, all of the like
Right.
I may be a lot of things, but I do not deserve evacuation. Okay, and losing everything, and neither do most people who've been affected by this. And I think the other part of this too is this idea that the Palisades is all rich people, and I do want to address this. Do you guys have a few more minutes?
Mhm.
The other thing I want to address here because I think this is really important. It's not rich people who live in the Palisades and in Malibu. Yes, there are wealthy people who live all over this country. There are very wealthy people who live in all of these different places, even in states where you live. Houston, I'm talking to you, right? Texas, there are places, Austin, whatever, it doesn't matter. Massachusetts, Brookline, Newton, right? There are all these places where there are wealthy people that own a lot of stuff. Your hatred of Hollywood is ridiculous. But please know that there were restaurants. Moon Shadows got destroyed. There are a lot of restaurants that I've been to, people that work there. There are hairdressing shops, nail places. There are people that, there are horse, like we have, there are a lot of horses. There are a lot of places where there's feed sold and like Petco's and whatever. Regular people that sustain an entire industry. And then I'll say this, it doesn't matter. These are human beings. Billy Crystal, you guys know who Billy Crystal is, right? It was
Mhm.
Whoopi, Robin Williams. Billy Crystal used to do comic relief or whatever. Billy Crystal lost his home, and he's been living in that home since like 1970 something. This
Mhm.
is a man who, this is his home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how wealthy you think he is, that is sad. So I just think this is a weird thing that we've gotten really used to doing to people. And it really says more about who you are. And I'm just going to say it over and over again. The more you show who you are by your cruelty, the less I want anything to do with you. You
Mhm.
know, just nastiness.
I don't understand why people always want to feel like they can just, you know, throw stones at people. Because isn't there a phrase, God said, he without sin cast the first stone?
Mhm.
Not
Hmm.
one person can do that.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why these people feel the need that they can do that in this situation, in any situation.
Hmm.
Right.
And forgive me for this, but I'm sure this is not what Jesus would do. Like I'm just saying, what, what would Jesus do? I don't know if Jesus would be all up in it like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Rick, you could tell me. I have no idea. But I'm just saying, in my little 12 years of Catholic school, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I've never heard Jesus be like, you know what, motherfuckers, I'm gonna be vindictive as shit. You know what I mean? I've just never. I'm gonna put you down when you're down. I'm gonna put you down when you're down. I'm gonna step on you when you're down. You know.
Yeah.
Carol just said people are ignorant, just regurgitating what they hear. Yeah. Rick,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
The one thing that I heard people say that was like negative and stupid was like, "Oh, boo hoo! Some millionaires lost their house." I'm like, but it's not just millionaires; all the regular people too. Like the
Yeah.
fire wasn't selective. Are you a millionaire? We gonna burn you. Oh, you go. Oh, yeah, ain't gonna burn you. No,
Right.
everybody.
I think it's because people. Here's the thing: we all want to be millionaires. We all want to own a home on the beach. We all want to be successful enough to say that we have what we've always wanted, to give our children what they want, to leave stuff for other people. And yet we belittle the people who have become successful. We belittle the people who have done so well for themselves. Are there bad people in Hollywood? Absolutely. Are there bad people who are pilots? Yes. Are there bad bus drivers? Yes. Are there bad people who own restaurants or dress shops or who are secretaries or dental hygienists? Or we can go down the motherfucking list. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's what burns me. I love this town. I love celebrities. I love the people who work for celebrities. I love film production. I love the crews. I love the caterers. I love everything about this industry because it is such, I don't know how to say this. It is such a creative process here. Nothing is made in this town without a lot of people coming together and doing it. And there's not a lot of places you can say that that's how that happens. You know what I mean? Like, to make a film takes thousands of people and so many hours. And it's just, to me, that's magic. It's magic. And it's what I was raised on. It's what made dreams easier to dream. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, and I love this town for that. And so I get very offended by it. I also just think it's not the best you can do because you're just jealous. You're jealous and you're trying to knock people down to feel better and superior about yourself. That is not the way to have power or respect or to be thought of as being a good and decent human being.
Or to be a child of God.
Oh,
And it's just plain immature,
hello.
right?
Hmm.
Ash said it may be easier for a rich person to replace their things, but they work hard, and it's more than just things. People are dying.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Carol said, not me. Yeah, or just plain ignorant. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right, Carol. But I'm no longer giving people the pass of being ignorant because I am sick and tired of people telling me that they are a child of God and preach the Bible and then do this. Like, that's, Rick, that is my pet peeve. There are probably some people who are being ignorant about it, but those are the fewer people that I saw. Because I always go and look at people's profiles. I always do because I know 9 times out of 10 that's what it's going to be, and it makes me mad because there were good, amazing Christians. There were good people who are religious. It may not be my thing, but I know that there were good and bad people in all things. I think the problem with social media, it's the pain you feel when you're looking for news or you're looking for a little bit of hope. And I kept scrolling because I was hoping somebody was going to say, oh, they've just, whatever, the Santa Ana wind stopped. And I don't know, I was hoping for something, because the only thing you're doing is being stressed. And then you see that and it just breaks my heart. Ash just say, ignorance is a choice, in my opinion. Ooh. Well, I might have to use that as a quote. I will credit you, though. I do. I think there are things we give people a pass on too much. Don't tell me you know the Bible and then behave that way. I'm sorry. Don't tell me you were a Christian and then behave that way. No.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but that broke my heart. But then on the flip side, just amazing people all around. And I think it was Jamie Lee Curtis who has suggested, I don't know if this is going to happen, has suggested that the award shows be canceled and all the money be donated to the fires. And I was like, oh, I hope they do that. Like, and I think our union is going to say, I mean, that would be incredible if they were able to do. Again, the thing about award shows, I just want to say this too. People get upset that we have award shows, right? People like to diss on that too. You know what? There are awards everywhere. There's best salesman at my local car sales place here at Honda. I've seen it so many times. There are awards for every single industry. Ours is just like, that's what I'm saying, right? People get upset, but they love entertainment. They love certain shows. They love certain movies. Everyone grew up on something. We all love that. But it's like, we get so mad because Hollywood is so bright when it's convenient. I'm not saying everyone, but you know what I mean? So I think that would be a beautiful idea too, Ash, if they were able to do that. I don't know if they can do it. I mean, I think they can, but I don't know if they will do it. It's just, it was an idea thrown out there. I think it was one of those, like, let's throw this bubble idea out there, see what happens. And I think it was Jamie Lee Curtis who said it. I might be wrong, but I think it was her who kind of made that. That would be incredible.
That would be.
The whole can do it, that changed a lot for me during COVID, because all of a sudden things that, no, we can't do that now, that is the way we do it. So that's
Yeah.
changed my whole perspective on people that saying
Mhm.
we can't do, really,
Right.
really.
Right. No, I agree with
They can
you.
do it online. Why don't they do it? They could give the money and then just do something online.
Well, I mean, I think the idea is too that it costs money to do a production. So whether you do it online or you do it live or whatever, it probably doesn't really change it that much. I think the idea of canceling it all together, letting people get their private award, like everybody, whatever, we find out the list or whatever. But I don't know. Then it's also like, people have worked years and years and are nominated, and have a right to have their moment. And maybe it would be a bright spot in this really terrible, sad, especially because most of the people in this industry are the ones who are the most affected. I'm sorry, I'm going to cry, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who lost homes who were on crews and worked on, you know what I mean? Like regular people. And a part of me is like, well, should they not be acknowledged during the ceremonies? Because they worked on some of these movies that are probably going to be nominated. They've already been nominated for SAG Awards. You know what I mean? Like, so, because we just got I think the notification. I haven't even seen my email, but I think we just got the list of, oh no, I think it's going to happen on the 14th or something. My bad. Who's being nominated for SAG or something. And so is that fair too? Like, you know, if I got nominated for something, shoot, we gonna have that award show. We gonna do it on the rubble of your motherfucking house, okay?
I've been waiting my whole life for this moment.
Gather around, take a seat wherever you can find a piece of rubble and shit. I'm coming out in my
All
gown.
my joy will be up there.
Right. My little gown and shit, my hair done, with my heels. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't know. That's what I meant by can't do it. Like, is it fair? You know, COVID, we had to be, so they made it, you know, but I don't know if that changes money wise. It's probably a different production, but it's not less expensive. You know what I mean? So, but whatever they decide to do, I just love this town and I love the idea of that. And, yeah. Either way, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna be supporting it no matter what. And I wish people would just stop harping on Hollywood elites. Stop it. Unless you promise never to watch a television show or movie, news item, news show, daytime drama, talk show, all of it is Hollywood. You know what I mean? All of it, you know. Oh, Carol, thank you. I'm thankful too. Thank you so much. Well, we're at 116. Anything else?
What did we learn today? We learned to be organized like Carmen.
Yes.
So in the case of emergency, we know what to grab. And don't forget your pets, people. Do not forget your pets.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know, people are upset about the pets. People thought that people actually left pets on purpose. That is not what happened. So there are a lot of pets out there. There's a viral video going of a fireman who is he's trying to take care of a dog while he has the fire hose and he's trying to Carol is like deodorant.
Don't forget.
While he's trying to take down the fire or whatever, and people were like, "How could anyone leave their dog?" That's not what happened. What happened is the dog probably got scared and ran, and they couldn't go after them to find them. Some kid, there's another story of a kid. I don't know if he's a kid, but a young man was trying to get back on his bike to go into the fire to get his dog. So a lot of people had left their dogs in the house and went to work when the fires came. And the fireman told him he could not go to get the dog, like, because he could die. So again, it's this idea that people were like, oh yeah, fuck little, you know, whatever Spot, let him die, and I'm just going to go be selfish. This idea that we think of the worst in people instead of the best is the strangest thing. Strangest thing. I hope I never become that person that thinks the worst in people first. That's stupid shit, you know?
Devastating. Can you imagine? Like, I just need to go right there. He's right there. I can say, no, you can't. Like, but he's right there. That's devastating.
But you know what? The fireman is right. He can't.
Yeah, I saw people with horses walking and taking them away.
Yeah. The idea too is that cats and dogs can sometimes, of course, better than people, find their way out. And I think that's also they have to make a judgment, you know, and I'm not going to be mad at the fireman. And I think it was the right thing. You can't go into a fire on a fucking bike to try to get a dog. You know what I mean? And that's not anything against the dog. All of it is irrational. And that's what was happening. I do think they found the dog though. And the dog is fine. Yeah, for that story, I think they did find the dog, but it's, you know, there were a lot of pets that have been picked up by wonderful volunteers who are getting pets taken care of who have been lost in the fire and stuff like that. So, you know,
but yeah,
even in my apartment, even in my apartment, like sometimes they'll have like the fire drills and stuff like that. And, you know, my cat, she gets freaked out when she hears it and runs right under my bed and I can't get her. So it's like, God forbid, if there was a fire, I would have to leave. and just trying to grab her out from underneath my bed would be hard.
Mm.
And it sucks.
Good point.
Leave the window open though, so she can get out. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, prepared. Be prepared. Window open, then run. You see what I mean? Like windows open.
I hope everybody's taking notes.
I saw a clip of, and I don't know where it came from, a cougar and its cubs running away from the fire. I don't know where they were, but yeah, they got it on video. Carol asked, "Where's my podcast?" Go to rickcosta.com. You can figure it out.
Yeah, and Carol, I'll send you his link in a DM. Yeah, Carol is also religious.
Oh, okay, cool.
If I can say it that way, I don't know if that's the right wording.
Spiritual.
For Carol. I mean, for Carol. She might go toe to toe with you with the Bible. She knows her Bible stuff.
Nice.
Ashley said Cynthia exactly. Yeah. I don't know what she's saying Cynthia exactly too though.
Probably about the cat. Trying to
or being prepared.
See, Carol said not religious. I apologize. Spiritual? I just know you know your Bible inside out. Like you and Rick would be hilarious going back and forth. That's all I'm saying. Carol knows her Bible. Right, Carol? So is it spiritual? Right, because you wouldn't believe in religiosity. Right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Now I'm waiting for Carol to say something because I feel bad.
So you still think you're going to go back tomorrow, maybe?
I don't know. I might. It might. I don't know. I don't. Just in a relationship
with God.
Okay.
See, talk to Mario tomorrow. See how the air is. How he feels the air is. He's close.
Mario's not in my area. He's not. I think he's under a warning and not under a mandate. I don't want to go because here's what I think. Okay, worst case scenario. And you know what? I'm not even going to put it out there. All I'm saying is that because I'm on that line, it's more likely that if they push the line, I'm going to be in it. So the next time they push the line and make a change, they're going to say again, okay, now you need to go. Oh, good night, Ash. Oh, thank you, Canada. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, Canada, because Ash is in Canada. Thank you for your help. We love you. Thank you. Because I know it was Ash herself who told the pilots to go. She's representing Canada here. But you know what I mean? Like they'll push the line and then I will have to leave again. See what I'm saying? Like, huh?
Could you email your neighbor?
Yeah, I did, and she said it was a little bit better today, or whatever. But I'm not worried about my neighbor. I'm checking the City of Santa Monica website all the time, because they're showing stuff. So if they say, we've pushed back the mandate, and that you have to leave. If they push it, and then it's like, oh, okay, then I know I'm in a good warning zone.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. Listen, it's all up in the air. I think it's better. Have you guys been hearing that it's getting better on your end? Not.
The news pretty much is just talking about how bad it is.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe not. I know. See what I mean? I'm like, did you hear anything? Come on, I'll take anything at this point. Yeah.
I just had a visual of you walking and opening the door. Jimmy Choos, are you okay?
That'll be the first thing she runs to.
I know. You know what's so funny? I don't care about my shoes as much. I mean, I really don't. That wouldn't be the first thing. Wouldn't. Yeah. It's just your home.
It would be your air fryer, wouldn't it?
I fucking love my air fryer, man. Everybody knows I love my air fryer. Is the bomb. I use that thing every day. Yeah, I love that thing. Yeah. All right, I am exhausted. I'm going to jump off. Thank you, everyone. No, thank you, Carol. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat, everyone watching. I appreciate you so much. And please keep California in your hearts. Please pray for our firemen, fire people, fire persons. I don't know what to say. And all of our first responders. And Carol says, I think I need a pair of Jimmy Choos. Maybe I'll send them to you. And yeah, just try to be a good and loving, wonderful person. And remember, at the end of the day, it really is what? All about the joy. Bye, everyone. Bye.